A very good afternoon to you and welcome to CoreTV News. I am Nena Nyama. The presidency says it is not bothered by the series of petitions filed against the ministerial nominees. The special assistant to the President of National Assembly, Ita Inang, told journalists in Abuja that the presidency expects the senators to do a thorough job. He was speaking ahead of the ministerial screening slated to begin on Tuesday.
Petitions are as petitions laid before the Senate. And His Excellency, the President of the Senate, has given his direction and ruling on it, and the gavel has been dropped. And that stands the decision of the Senate. And nobody can say anything about it, and I will not say anything against what the Senate in session has decided. And it is not proper to go into a controversy with the senators and the Senate at all on any matter that lies within their constitutional powers.
The Deputy National Chairman, South of the All Progressive Congress and former Governor of Ekiti State, Segun Oni, has denied the report that he turned down the ministerial slot offered him by President Muhammadu Buhari. Oni, who made this clarification while speaking at his Ifaki country home, says he had never wanted to be a minister at one time or the other. He also expressed his happiness at the nomination of former Governor of Ekiti State, Kayode Fayemi.
And people should realize it is very easy. Who do people not complain about? Especially in this country where complaints are free. One thing I think we should do, coming from this, is if you want to complain against somebody in future, the law should make it compulsory that you should swear to an affidavit before your complaint is taken in, so that you know that if you miss it, you are going in for perjury.
On the petitions and protests greeting the nomination of Lai Mohammed and Rotimi Amechi, Segun Oni says they will scale through despite the objections. He, however, called for a law to guide Nigerians when writing petitions and complaints against personalities. The All Progressive Congress says President Muhammadu Buhari will not interfere in the ongoing probe of some of his ministerial nominees. The party added that the president will not spare any of them found guilty of corruption by courts of competent jurisdiction, even after they have been confirmed by the Senate. Deputy National Chairman of the party, Senator Lawali Shuaibu, made this disclosure in an interview with reporters in Abuja. He explained that the president's commitment to the anti-graft war is such that he would not shield anyone, even members of the party who were proven to be corrupt. Meanwhile, the Rivers State chapter of the All Progressive Congress has called on the Senate to give the immediate past governor of the state, Rotimi Amechi, special consideration during the screening of ministerial nominees. The state chairman of the APC, Davis Ikania, commended the Senate for its decision to retire in the forthcoming screening, but appealed to it not to totally discard the tradition of asking deserving ones to take a bow and go. Ikaya's appeal followed the Senate's insistence that each ministerial nominee must get the support of at least 2 senators from his or her state. Amechi is the leader of the APC in Rivers State and may not get the support of the senators representing Rivers State who are members of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. The party described Amechi as one of the few Nigerians who enjoyed the privilege of being elected the governor of a state for 2 consecutive terms and the only Nigerian who served for 2 terms as the chairman of the Nigeria Governors Forum. A former chairman, Senate Committee on Environment and Ecology, Grace Benz, has urged members of the 8th Senate to dismiss the petition against President Muhammadu Buhari's ministerial nominee from Kaduna State, Amina Mohammed. Benz, in a statement issued in Abuja, asked the Senate to ignore the issue of indigene strip of the Kaduna raised by Muhammad's political opponents as mere allegations born out of bitterness. She noted that disqualifying such a woman of substance based on frivolous petition would be unholy, impious and debasing for women in Nigeria whose contributions to national growth and development have been unequaled. Bent identified those behind the plot to deny the Kaduna State nominee of ministerial appointments as high-handedness, mischievous and ignorant political elites who did not wish Nigeria well. Former Lagos State Governor Bola Tinubu has taken a swipe at what he described as Gothic tales and political slander from a national daily. The former governor said the decision by the Sun newspaper to publish a story about his alleged conspiracy with Senate President Bukola Saraki to thwart the Buhari administration is a descent into the darkest and lowest runs of journalism practice. In a statement signed by his media advisor Sunday Dare in Conakry, he added that the motives of the said report are too nauseous to ignore, adding that the real motive is to kill the change that is happening before all Nigerians. Going further, he says, having worked hard with many well-meaning Nigerians to bring about the current wind of change, no sane human being will work to sabotage such monumental achievements. Former Vice President and Chieftain of the All Progressive Congress, Atiku Abubakar, has described the deceased former governor of Bayelsa State, Prix, as an astute politician who firmly protected the interests of the Ijaw people. The former vice president said in a press statement released by his media office in Abuja on Sunday that the announcement came to him as a rude shock. He eulogized the late Alamesia for being a worthy ambassador of the Ijaw nation and for contributing his quota in the service of the nation and the development of democratic governance in the country. Atiku noted that irrespective of the divergent opinions of Nigerians about his legacies as a governor, Alamesia died, earning the respect and admiration of the people of Bayelsa State and Ijaw land. The federal government has deployed officials of the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission to major airports across the country in a bid to check corruption at the various facilities. It specifically stated that it has installed the agency's CCTV cameras at the airports to help detect corrupt officers. The Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Aviation, Vinta Bello, stated that the initiative is to engender growth, confidence and transparency in the aviation industry, as it is imperative to collaborate with the ICPC to effectively reduce the incidence of corruption in the sector. We'll take a break now. We'll be back with more stories. Do stay with us.
This is what the people are saying.
You don't run a big economy with generator. They need to do more in terms of energy and power.
Many things to do for this Nigeria about lights, water and new TT.
For Nigerians that are not gullible, we know that good laws have done nothing good for this country.
Buhari won the election convincingly.
Talk to our husband that you should keep promise about what you said. And because people are watching you, you know, another election is coming.
Also, some people will strong for Yoruba land. We'll be strong, man. We don't die.
This nation is moving forward. The best is going to take place.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
Glad to have you back. It's still CoreTV News in this hour. For more of our news stories, join us on our social media platforms, facebook.com/CoreTV News, on Twitter at CoreTV News NG, and on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/CoreTV News. The FCT administration has denied claims of a bomb explosion around Karu, a suburb of Abuja, on Saturday night. Permanent Secretary John Chukwu said in a statement that the rumor was unfounded. According to him, the police commissioner of Yusuf in Malaga and other top security chiefs have combed all the nooks and crannies of the area from Orozo to Yanya and from Karu up to Mararaba in Nasarawa State without any sign of bomb explosion. He consequently urged FCT residents to disregard such rumor, describing it as baseless. Permanent Secretary added that security agencies have intensified the surveillance of the entire Federal Capital Territory in order to nip on the bud any of such unfortunate incidents. The Defense Headquarters has refuted media reports that many of the over 200 schoolgirls who were kidnapped in April 2014 from the government secondary school Chibok in Borno State have been impregnated by members of the Boko Haram sect. The acting director at Defense Information, Rabi Abubakar, says the publication by a national newspaper that one of the girls who escaped from the insurgents and handed over to the military at Baga made a claim is misleading and spurious. He urged members of the public to discountenance the reports, describing it as false. He added that while the security agencies will continue to sustain the search for the Chibok girls and others being held captive by the insurgents, they will not give credence to misleading reports with no genuine source of information. Meanwhile, the Nigerian army says security forces are aware of the hideout and strongholds of terror group, the Boko Haram, in the country. The acting director, Army Public Relations, Sani Osman, urged the insurgents to embrace the peace option and surrender as the troops are already closing in on them. The army spokesman, who made this known in a statement issued on Sunday, also called the Nigerians to persuade the insurgents to renounce the membership of the deadly sect. The Chief of Army Staff, Tukur Buratai, has warned soldiers against fraternizing with politicians or play politics under any pretext, warning of severe punishment for any soldier found wanting in this respect. The Army Chief, who was speaking while on a visit to the Ikeja cantonment of the Army's 9th Brigade, says any form of indiscipline from officers and men will not be tolerated. He added that his visit is to get a first-hand information of what soldiers are going through as a new Chief of Army Staff. He said the Army High Command would not compromise on the welfare of his officers and men.
Hibernating with politicians or getting involved in politics of whatever nature. We will not tolerate that, and if he's caught, he will be dealt with accordingly. As a professional soldier, we are here to defend the territorial integrity of our country. This includes the population. We are not here to molest any civilian. I think I've made myself clear. Yes, sir. We also have some challenges in the areas of armed banditry, armed robbery, and oil theft. This got across most parts of the country as well. I know we had other challenges as well, administrative challenges. I want to assure you that your welfare is being taken care of. The logistics aspect is being taken care of. We are working hard to make sure your accommodations are improved. Your kitchens also are provided.
The Southwest spokesman for the National Emergency Management Agency, Ibrahim Familoye, has confirmed that there was an explosion inside a locked beer parlor that is yet to open for business at L&K Street, Oworoshoki, Inward Mayaki, Lagos State. He said 4 people, including a girl, were injured and had been rushed to a Falabi hospital for treatment. Some of the people at the scene had this to say on the cause of the explosion, which also affected a nearby building.
As I speak, there is no loss of lives. However, we have 3 casualties, 3 male adults, and a 6-year-old child who has been stabilized and moved to Lasut for further management. However, there has been this news here and there that maybe it was a bomb explosion. Exactly. It is not a bomb. This I can confirm. It is a leakage of gas with some chemicals in this bungalow with about 5 shops that got exploded. And you know what it is when we have carbonated items with gas. The explosion was so volatile. However, the rescue mission is still ongoing, and I will update Lagosians. But please keep calm. There is no bomb explosion in Lagos.
With the presence of armed soldiers in the Shawo area of Ikorodu in Lagos State generating a lot of tension and reactions from residents of the area, the police in the state has reacted to the alleged tension and fear caused by the soldiers' presence. Commissioner of Police Fatai Owoseni, while speaking to newsmen in his office in Lagos, says the presence of the troops is to put an end to the menace of pipeline vandals and illegal bankrats in the area. Take another break now, return with more stories. Just stay with us.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Glad to have you back. Away from our local stories and now to the foreign scene. The Pentagon says it is to pay compensation for those killed and injured in a U.S. strike on the Medicine Sans Frontiers hospital in northern Afghanistan. At least 22 staff and patients were killed in the bombing in the city of Kunduz a week ago. The U.S. had said the strike was a mistake and that it was trying to target Taliban insurgents. MSF has called the attack a war crime and called for an international committee to investigate. Those injured in the strike and the families of those killed are eligible for condolence payments from the United States. The Pentagon added the funds will also be made available to repair the hospital. President Obama has apologized to the MSF president and the Afghan leader for the incident. MSF is averse to trying to trace more than 30 staff and patients who remain unaccounted for. Thousands of people have gathered in the center of Turkey's capital, Ankara, to pay tribute to the victims of bomb blast, which killed at least 95 people. Brief scuffles broke out between the crowd and the police after some menace tried to lay carnations at the site of the bombings. There is anger towards the government, whom protesters blame for security failures, but the government has rejected suggestions that it was to blame for the bombing. Prime Minister Ahmet Davutoglu said there is evidence that 2 suicide bombers had carried out the attack. Turkey has declared 3 days of mourning after Saturday's attack, the deadliest ever in Turkey. The Israeli military says it has struck 2 targets in Gaza where Hamas manufacture weapons, adding that the strikes were in response to 2 rockets fired from Gaza into southern Israel. Palestinian officials, however, confirmed that a pregnant woman and her young daughter in a nearby house were killed. In the West Bank, Israeli police say a Palestinian woman set off an explosive device at a checkpoint. She was stopped by police while driving on Sunday morning near the Israeli settlement of Male Adumim. She is said to be in critical condition, though initial reports said she died in the attack. As well as the 2 reported deaths, medical staff in the Zaytun sector south of Gaza City say 3 people are trapped in the rubble at a destroyed house. And now to Iraq. The Iraqi military says its Air Force struck a convoy of Islamic State leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi in western Anbar province close to the Syrian border on Sunday. The military statement added that the fate of the militant leader, who has declared himself the leader of a caliphate in areas his ultra-Haldan Sunni group controls in Iraq and Syria, is unknown. The military said the Air Force also bombed a location where Baghdadi was planning to meet Islamic State commanders. Islamic State has seized swaths of Syria and Iraq and in June declared a caliphate over territory it controls. Baghdadi said he had accepted oath of allegiance from supporters in Libya, Egypt, Yemen, Saudi Arabia and Algeria. And now to sports. Wales manager Chris Coleman says his side have fulfilled a dream by qualifying for Euro 2016. A 2-0 defeat by Bosnia-Herzegovina on Saturday proved immaterial as Israel's loss to Cyprus confirmed Wales' place in France next summer. Coleman walked onto the pitch at the final whistle in Zenica, unaware he had created history by becoming the first manager since Jimmy Murphy in 1958 to lead Wales to the finals of a major tournament. His side's unbeaten record in Group B had been ended by second-half goals from Milan Duric and Vedat Ibisevic. But jubilant celebrations soon followed as Cyprus' unexpected victory confirmed Wales would finish in the top 2 places in the group with 1 game remaining against Andorra in Cardiff on Tuesday. Wales back Liam Williams has been ruled out of the rest of the World Cup because of a foot injury. Scarlet winger full-back Williams, 24 years old, and Harlequin centre Jamie Roberts left the field in the closing stages of Wales' 15-6 poll, a defeat by Australia. Roberts, 28, suffered a head knock but is set to be fit for the quarter-finals. However, Williams will play no further part in the tournament, having overcome foot surgery in June to play in the tournament. Williams was concussed in the 28-25 win that helped knock out host England at the pool stage. He returned against the Wallabies after missing the victory over Fiji. Williams' injury comes after Wales lost wing Harlem Amos to a dislocated shoulder against England. Lewis Hamilton is on the brink of a World Championship win in Formula One with victory in the Russian Grand Prix. Hamilton was running second to Mercedes teammate Nico Rosberg when the German ran into problems with the throttle early in the race and had to retire. Ferrari's Sebastian Vettel took second to pass Rosberg in the title standings. Force India's Sergio Perez was a fine third after Ferrari's Kimi Raikkonen dramatically collided with Williams' Valtteri Bottas on the final lap. Hamilton's 9th win this season means he needs 9 more points than Vettel and 2 more than Rosberg at the next race in the USA to clinch the title. Raikkonen's eventual 5th place means Mercedes must also wait until at least the race in Austin on 25 October before clinching the 2nd consecutive constructors' title. However, there is a possibility that Mercedes could clinch the championship if Raikkonen is penalized for causing the crash that led to Bottas' retirement. With Russian President Vladimir Putin watching from the stands and later greeting the drivers before they went onto the podium. The second running of this race is a contrast to the first last year. And that's the CoreTV news on this hour. Thank you so very much for watching. I am Nena Nyama.